Cringepod episode 4 about cringe and pods. And carry on. Hello? Okay.
No, we could have just
See you in a bit.
clicked a button.
No.
It's gonna be me, John, Richard.
Super duper.
I'm back. Sorry, it's a call.
Josh Flowers, aka John Flowers. Big boy.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's just talk about things such as
Where do you want to start off?
let's get spooky. I'm home alone, so I think we can theme that around that. Because I want to be very scared. I'm going to tell you a spooky story to start off the podcast. This is not a Halloween special, but maybe.
Spoopy.
Yeah, this is going to be a spooky story. This is called. I don't know what it's called. This is me paraphrasing a story. Yeah, ready? Okay.
Wow, it's brilliant already.
So there was once a little girl, and every night she went to sleep. And before she went to sleep, she would say, "Yappers!" And she would stick her hands just next to the bed, and her dog, Yappers, would come and lick her palm. And that would settle her, and she would go to sleep.
Like a puss.
So she did this every night. Every single night. And on one night, a very just normal night, she comes in after just brushing her teeth and getting out of her slippers. She slips into bed and says, "Yappers!" And the warm, moist lick of Yappers. And she's comforted by that and goes to bed. The next morning, she awakes and sees a trail of red liquid leading to the bathroom door.
What could it be?
She goes, and hanging on the bath rails, covering the shower, is Yappers, hanging by his neck, and written on the window, and presumably Yappers' blood, it says a message saying, "Humans can lick too." Wow.
Yummy.
That was a big story right there.
That was very spooky
That
indeed.
was a spooky story. Has anyone got
I
any
am so spooked.
big spooky stories?
Shit my pants.
Yeah. I actually have some myself.
Anecdotes? Any personal anecdotes
Well,
that we can talk about?
Yeah, so once I used to, like, when I go to bed, I'd say yappers and put my hand out,
yep.
and I get my dog to lick my hand.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then one day you just woke up and it was dead.
Yeah, one day my dog wasn't there.
I mean, the
and,
thing
I
is
got a
about that
note
story-
said, "Nice salty fingers."
The problem is with that story, there's no backstory to it, okay? So, why does he kill the dog? Why is the guy under bed? Who is the fuck is this guy?
Yeah. Why does you want to lick her hand for one? Like, why didn't you just kill her?
I don't know. But presumably he was watching her because he knew that the dog licked her hand every night. Or maybe Yappers was just a guy the whole time.
And killed herself because of depression.
Yeah.
Because he'd never be a real human.
No, he'd never be real. He was like half human, half dog.
God.
Sort of beast. Has anyone got any real life spooky stories?
I don't think so, no.
No? Anything that has been remotely creepy in your life ever?
Creep light. I don't really think so.
I mean, when I lived in a caravan while I was doing at my house, there was one room in our static. So it's basically just a movable house to any Chinese listeners, if you don't know what a static caravan is. And essentially, there was one little room, and my sister hated sleeping in it. Okay, so when we got in there, when we moved in, it's this little shitty cat, which was what can I just say was one of the worst experiences of my life. I slept in the room with my brother, and then my sister would have slept in that room because she had the room to herself. And all the room was, you would walk in, you would open the door, and then it was a little thin like strip. Literally, that was it. And then there was a corner, and so the corner was a bed on top, which kind of like it was like a right angle, okay. And then there was a
Yeah.
bed following the little corridor, which was literally tiny. And then there was a bed on top of that, which went like right. So it was like a right. It formed like a right angle, basically. So there was a bed going one way, and then the bed going like the opposite way, which basically formed like a right angle. And the bed, like straight on, was like on top, and basically you would put like all your stuff under it, and it was just really fucking weird. Like you went in, you just got a really weird vibe. I don't know why, but it was just pretty weird, and everything about the room was just creepy as shit. So my sister slept on the couch, and basically, when room told she hated it, so I thought this was a great opportunity because she's obviously just some kind of puss. So I went in the room, and I don't know if that was me telling myself that it was spooky because my sister moved out of it, or it was generally just spooky because I kept hearing noises and shit, like, because from the corner of the room. Like, I don't believe in any ghosts or anything like that, but it was just weird. It was one of the weirdest
Hmm.
things. Like, my sister, I'm pretty sure at the time, was pretty weird as well. Like, she went through a little weird phase where she said she used to see things as well. So, something wasn't right about that static. Let me tell you that for free.
This wasn't a good vibe.
No, it wasn't. It was spooky, okay? It was dark and it was so small. And
That is
I found
extremely
out the other
spooky.
day, yeah, that under my house there used to be a well. And I'm thinking, oh god, that is scary as shit.
Oh, that doesn't remind me of a certain film.
No. So, like, this house could be
Some
haunted.
women climbing out.
No, I'm scared now. So, yeah.
Yeah. What if the house just falls? Aren't it, like
Like a sinkhole. It's not Florida. Roast.
Was that a big roast?
So Richard, do you have any creepy experiences?
I guess like the creepiest thing that's really happened to me is when I was on holiday, where we went this year. Not this year, but it's the same place.
Yeah.
Go there quite often. It's a very nice campsite, very nice indeed. There's lots of like wooded area around it, so you'd go at night and you'd have to go through quite a few like wooded to get ducks, and they were pretty creepy. And once I was walking down there and I heard a load of rustling in like the bushes next to me, and I thought someone was in there. Turned out it was just a rabbit.
Right.
So it's a bit anticlimactic, but still
It was creepy.
That's spooky.
nerve-wracking
That's understandable.
when in a strange place and there's rustle shit.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want none of that.
No, who would on that occasion? So another scary thing. Trent, have you had any scary things that has happened to you?
Um. mm, I guess we used to have a oh, what would you call it?
A shed.
Bird house,
Okay.
and it was like on the side of the shed, and through the like it had like a little peephole, but it looked like an eye.
Yeah.
And one time I was just on the trampoline, and I was just looking at the eye, and then the birdhouse just fell.
Oh my god. That's pretty creepy.
And I was spooked.
I mean, the house that I live in is pretty scary. I mean, the location is pretty spooky as well because
It's in the middle of
obviously
nowhere.
it's in the middle of
Did you
nowhere.
get that encounter where someone knocked on your door?
Oh yeah, an encounter of a third kind. Oh yeah, that was a good story, but I've already said it.
That's a
So
good story.
that was, oh my god, yeah, that was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. That was really scary. But I mean, ghost wise or something that along that lines, the only thing that's happened to me was essentially the house next door to me is just has the weirdest vibe ever. It is weird. It like maybe that's just because it was really old. Like basically because my granddad lived in there, and it just like basically because you know what old people like, they just run it down, and there's just a bit and like piles of like old
Sorry.
shit in there. So you know, big scares right there. I'm pretty sure like I saw something moving once, so big scary times. Yeah, it's about all the
My
scary
grandma's house used to be
experiences.
pretty spooky.
Yeah, I think old people's houses are quite spooky.
Yeah. I've never really been to my nan's house at night, but it seems like it could be quite spooky. It's like a farm, like Josh's actually.
Oh,
There's nothing around it.
oh God, that sounds terrifying.
Whereas, I mean, I don't know.
I
That's
get,
scary.
I get why that would be scary.
Just isolation, I guess.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
just that
the
like horror cliche.
yeah.
No, in the middle of nowhere, an old person's home.
I think all it is
Very,
like not wanting to die. So, like, I think we just come up with explanations for things so that I think we try. I think the problem is with us is that we like with humans in general is that we always like explanations. So, like when we don't
Yeah.
know why something happens, we come up with something,
make it up.
yeah, totally irrational, like a ghost or an alien or something like that.
Religion.
Wow, that's crazy.
Religion is stupid.
Spoopy as well.
Yeah, it is.
I suppose it is, but I mean, if you think in general, there must be a reason why so many people believe in it.
And it's,
I think it's just because
why do people do and why people do not? No, that's the big thing.
I don't know.
It's such a conflict. Well, not conflict, but
Well, it didn't really used to be like that though. Like not even that long ago. It wasn't like a big gap.
scientists, well, the science became.
I don't know.
I suppose yeah, science is the massive part of it, which you know started to change religion's like influence.
Charles Darwin.
Yeah, people like Charles Darwin and like Copernicus and Galileo. You know, they were the kind of people that marched forward.
Revolutionized reasoning.
Yeah, I'd say that. But yeah, pretty weird. You know, humans like to come up with a lot of weird stuff. Do you believe in like aliens and any ghosts and any?
Religion is probably the weirdest thing.
Yeah, that's what you're
Yeah.
most creeped out about.
Why? I thought that's.
I think people just like comfort, don't they? People like, you know.
Is a safe zone.
Mm. Yeah, I think people just like to be part of stuff and know that the world is not as cold as it might seem. But it is. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Oh well. I mean, that's the problem, I suppose, is that like I think it's always about death. Death shows up like no matter what. Like how we perceive time.
Arguments.
Like how we even perceive time is all about death. Our death. It's all related to us. How long we live and stuff like that. So
Lifespan.
yeah.
But I don't think immortality will be, you know,
Wow. I am bad at
not
this game.
made, but be a choice anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose everything's just temporary, isn't it?
Yep.
I think the problem is with ghosts and anything like that, and anything like, um,
Spirits.
yeah, spirits, demons, aliens. Aliens are linked in that. Encounters, shit like that. Is that
Area 51.
usually people are usually the people that believe in that shit are
Hillbillies.
a bit weird and a bit crazy. Like usually it is people who are grieving from like family members lost. Like people see ghosts all the time with their family members and stuff like that. Or they're like hillbillies who are probably like high on meth or something like that. Or it's
Just have
just
vulnerabilities, basically.
yeah, it's just vulnerable people who are looking for. I think,
Answers.
yeah, I think it's quite common actually. There's a massive thing about
It's just,
people who have lost loved ones see ghosts quite a lot.
yeah, my sister, when my great granddad died, she saw him. Apparently. It was a great in
That's weird as well.
2007.
My mum will sometimes say that she can smell like cigar smoke, like because my granddad used to smoke cigars. Sometimes she'll be in like the halls, like she can smell cigar smoke. That's really weird.
That is odd. I mean, also I'd watch out for that because your mum might be having a stroke. Not really. If she smells burning toast, that's not good. But yeah, cigars. I mean, that's. It. I think people just want comfort. They want like a sense of
Mm.
like fine. Like
They want, yeah, keep talking.
they want to know people are there, don't they? Like there's still
Yeah. People don't like being alone.
no. Especially, I think it's that isolation thing that we talked about earlier.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. It is really weird because like it's just so odd. Ghosts and whatever you want to call it is, I think it's just the mind's way of trying to comfort people and trying to get over people because what people hate is when, especially people who die early and don't die of old age. Like when you don't die of old age, I think a lot of the time people feel like your chapter's not finished. You know, there was more that could have happened. Like you know when a show gets cancelled or something like that, or like a movie series like just gets cut off,
Yeah. Or
and
Half-Life 3.
yeah, and you always feel like there could have been more,
Yeah.
and there was so much more to offer. You know what I mean?
True. If someone dies of old age, people don't get as like family members don't get freaked out as much. But if someone like a baby dies, then they want answers.
Well, if a baby dies, it is because it is they had their whole life to live. I mean, you're laughing at a baby dying, right? It's just because it was so.
If
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
like someone in the 20s.
Yeah, and even if anyone below 40, I would say, if anyone dies below 40, I feel like that is very, especially if the children, then that is really sad because they have their whole life. And the thing is, like with children, is the reason they're always so innocent is because they've not got a full understanding of the world and they're not fully themselves yet.
Mm.
Yep.
That's why it's so sad to kill.
Potential.
Yeah, when terrorists and any group like that targets like children and war, yeah.
War two.
Whenever anything happens to children, I think it's so sad because they had so much more to live, you know, so much more to do. But I suppose the most common group of people to die is children. Most people don't live past. I think it's most people don't live past childhood. Still, in this day and age, places like Africa and not just Africa, but
Third
poor
world.
third world countries, a lot of them don't make it past 5. Which is
Famine.
yeah, famine and stuff like that, disease. Which is it's quite crazy because
So,
it's so different. Our worlds are so different, and we live on the same
we are
planet.
so fortunate.
Yeah, we are. And that's why I hate it when people say, "When did the world get so bad?" as well, because like the world used to be so shit.
Yeah, it's the best for luxury anyway.
Yeah, like we're so privileged.
Nice. like smoking was a luxury.
Yeah.
Now it's just to most.
Most people do
to
it.
some people, it's common.
It's so odd. Like, how shit the world used to be as well. Like, medieval times. That's why you have to think, like, about how lucky you are sometimes.
Like we are lucky, but and then there's people that are lucky but don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Like they don't. Like oh, I hate my parents. Oh my god, you didn't get me an Xbox 360 Crime Edition.
Yeah, I know what you mean. People take it for granted. And you think about it, like, you have to just sometimes, whenever says, oh, that's so shit, you have to just think about, like, the chances of him being born right now are just slim. I mean, the chances of the universe being created in the first place, the chance of Earth, a habitable planet, like in an area where it's actually life as well, and to be born in this period as well, and for the human race even to exist, we are surely the most luckiest thing in the whole universe and ever to be created.
Because what, like, there are multiple worlds in this, well, not worlds, planets in this solar system. Is there life? I don't think so.
I don't know.
What do you mean, like on other planets?
No, it's just, I don't know. It's weird to think that there is life on other planets.
And the thing is, they just never know, and they probably think. The problem is with life. What I find hard is because, like, I think we find life when we find life on another planet, like in any time. I think it will be very disappointing because we'll find a bacteria or we'll find a little ant. You know, that will be life. People assume that we're going to find life on another planet, and it's going to be really evolved. Yeah, it's going to be like mega aliens and shit like that. It's just going to be some little creepy crawlies on the fucking floor. And who says...
Probably exactly the same.
Yeah, who says that we can even comprehend what an aliens would look like? Like, it could just be a state of It could be a state of matter that we don't even know.
Yeah.
Who came up with the description of an alien?
Yeah, the stereotype. It's so odd.
Like who... And ghosts as well.
I don't know.
You can kind of see with stuff like zombies, because it's just kind of easy. It's just a dead person.
I know, right?
But zombies are, like, people who believe that as a zombie apocalypse will happen, they're retarded, and people who want it to happen are retarded as well.
I know.
After the end of humanity.
Wait, what? What's this?
A zombie apocalypse.
I know, I always thought that zombies would be quite easy to combat because they're all grouped in a nice space. It's really not that. I mean, if you think of the grand scheme of things, getting bit, right? Or even getting, like, scraped by, like, claws or whatever, because there's a lot of different rules. Like, there's never a solid thing. Like, some zombies walk, some zombies run, some zombies can form, like, a mega structure and climb over a giant wall, some zombies are fat. I don't really know. But anyway, all I'm saying is, it would be quite easy to, like, contain, because if you think of, like, diseases, a lot of them are airborne, and we can, like, solve Ebola, right? And that's airborne and shit like that, and it's really contagious. If you think about zombies, they're really not that contagious, because they're just going to bite you, man. You can just run away.
True, but people who want, like, those, like, them, they're only people left on the world against the whole world of zombies.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you're pretty fucked, but I think, yeah, it's
like just a city that has this zombie-ridden virus. Then
it's weird how the human race is so obsessed with how we're gonna end. Like,
yeah,
it's quite odd.
but we're so scared of death. Like, I wouldn't want a nuclear war.
I don't think anyone does. I don't even think Kim Jong-un does at this point. Like, why would anyone want a nuclear war? It would.
What's the point, though? What would it actually get?
It doesn't achieve anything.
Just
so stupid.
I mean, who wanted war, but we got it.
Yeah, we got it in bucket loads.
Ooh.
I think if you think about it, without nuclear weapons, there probably would have been another war by now.
Yeah.
Like a giant war, I mean. Obviously, there's wars every day. Like, there's wars still going on, but there would have probably been World War Three.
But now it's just that it's not guns, it's like nukes.
Mm.
So it's like who can be the most intimidating?
Yeah, it's all just talk, isn't it?
Mind games, yeah.
I mean, America have the most nukes by far, but
But it still isn't enough to blow a planet.
that's what I mean. It doesn't matter about how many nukes you said. I think there was a famous quote by like a Russian leader in the Cold War, and I'm pretty sure like JFK said, no, it might have been Nixon. I don't know. It wasn't JFK. It was probably Nixon, and he said that it might have been Richard Nixon. Don't quote me on this. And he said the USA had enough nukes to flatten Russia twice. And then the Russian president replied, "We only need to flatten the USA once." So, you know, it doesn't matter about the quantity of nuclear wars. Once you drop a few nuclear bombs, it's the end, really.
True. But it wouldn't destroy a world. Like, it might destroy humanity, but not the planet.
Yeah, it would probably do the planet good.
Yeah, because like overpopulation is like pretty.
I don't think overpopulation.
Because you don't want to. Like if we, I don't know, it is weird. Overpopulation.
I think the problem. I think people are really going on too much about overpopulation though, because if you think about it, 1 second, I'm gonna go for a second. You two carry on.
On the topic of nukes and shit.
Got nukes and overpopulation.
Jesus, okay, so I don't really, yeah, I don't know, I've got to them.
What would we do if overpopulation wasn't an issue?
Is it though?
No, but if
Actually, it is, kind of is.
Why? What? What's going on?
overpopulation
I don't think it's.
is a huge issue.
I don't think it's a problem because I watched another video, probably by the same guys, Kirs or whatever, and they said it's because a country's still developing that the population is still increasing. Because if you think about it, in Europe and places that are more developed, in like USA and North America and Europe and basically them, the most developed countries, we're kind of capping and we're at a constant rate. Like the birth rates have dropped in Europe and North America like quite a lot. And anyway, there was also recent news that in developed countries, a lot of men will go sterile by like 2000, like 100, like by about 2100 maybe. They're saying that it's a massive problem and it's going to be like Children of Men, if you've ever watched that film.
I haven't.
Oh my god, it's a really good film. It's really depressing
think I
though.
have, anyway.
It is depressing as shit. Basically, if you never watched that, film, it's really good because it's about the world and there was an infection which made everyone sterile, and the world's gone to shit. And there's one woman, and I didn't watch it all. Like you know when it's on TV, and it's like already 30 minutes in, but you watch it anyway. It was kind of like that moment. But I watched most of the movie. And there was a woman, and she's pregnant in a sterile world, so everybody wants to come after her basically, and it's they're trying to. So this guy is basically trying to get this woman out of this place, and everyone is like trying to kill her. Everyone trying to kill them for some reason. I don't really remember why, but there's a better reason. But it's just really grim and dark, and it's just really depressing. But it's really good.
It's good.
It's the best post-apocalyptic film I've probably seen. It's really quite good.
Apocalyptic movies. 10 Cloverfield Lane?
It's not really.
That's...
It's. Have you watched that, by the way?
Yeah, I watched both of them today.
What do you think?
I think Clover... Yeah,
I can't take shaky cam, so
true. I mean, half of the time I couldn't see anything, it was just black. But I liked it. I liked... just that huge thing. And it's not like a movie where it goes to the president and he's like, this is an alien 5000. We need to destroy it with these weapons. It's just very brief and it's cool. Central Field Lane's okay.
I thought it was okay as well. I thought it had way more potential if it was just.
The plot twist is good though. How the air isn't contagious. It was just making it up, but I don't know why it was making it up.
No, it was contagious. No, she thought he was making it up. Wait, no.
Mask off and she didn't.
I don't know.
No, because there was these aliens that were spreading bad air,
Air.
but they would like go over places, like they'll make the air contagious.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, so when she got up there, she took it off. I remember now.
And then she realised and she had to take it on. But it was like,
Put it on.
I don't know, it was an okay movie, I guess.
I thought it was better than Cloverfield. I thought Cloverfield was. I just hate shaky cam, really.
It was a low budget.
Yeah, it was low budget. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty low budget. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they didn't really have to do that much CGI because the shaky camera, like, it would just be a blur.
Yeah, it was quite interesting to see, like, how most of the time you don't actually see. I think that's better as well. Like, you know, when you don't really see something, like, you remember, like, Alien Covenant, when all you see is the flipping alien. Like, you see it way too much, and it becomes not even scary. But, like, in the first Alien film, you wouldn't see it at all, really, apart from when it kills someone.
Yeah. And then the only time you saw it in Cloverfield was right at the end when he killed that person on the camera, T.J. Miller.
Was it actually T.J. Miller? I forgot it was in that film.
Yeah, T.J. Miller was in it.
What? I can't imagine him being serious. Oh, right.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Oh, right, cool.
Just saying, we're gonna die. If we get out this way, we're gonna die. But,
Wasn't there like little bugs on the streets as well? I remember, like they weren't little,
like,
but
it was like the Queen.
Yeah, it was pretty
Spewing out babies.
pretty weird.
Cool.
It was
Cool movie.
pretty.
Cloverfield Lane though, yeah.
I thought District. If you watch District 9, that is a really good film.
That's good.
I would recommend that. It's really different. Yeah, it's different as well, and it's a Neil Blomkamp film. But he made that, and then he followed it up with Chappie, which wasn't as good. But you know, I'm not going to judge.
Chappie is amazing.
No,
No,
sounds odd.
I've heard of it.
It's directed by Mel Gibson,
Ugh.
and it looks cool, but I don't know.
Mel Gibson is hit and miss, by the way.
Don't
Like, for
ping him.
instance, he did have a meltdown in like 2008, I think. But I mean, Mel Gibson film, not actually directed by him, I'm pretty sure, but acted starring in Braveheart's a pretty good film.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, I do like that film because I am half Scottish, so you know.
Isn't Lethal Weapon Mel Gibson as well?
It brings out the William Wallace in me, and my mum's maiden name is Wallace.
William Wallace. Wow.
My mum's maiden name is Anne Wallace, so you know, I am Joshua John Wallace Flowers. That what it could have been.
Jesus, that's a mouthful. What could it be?
That's a strong name, Joshua John Wallace Flowers.
Do you have a favourite director?
Not really. I don't know. I don't really care about who directs the film.
That's pretty fair. One sec.
I just watch the film, you know. If it's alright, then go.
It doesn't make the difference, but you know.
I mean, you can tell
Edgar Wright.
a lot of differences in the people's directing and how they've done the movie and everything.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I just don't really care.
Steven Spielberg. Quentin Tarantino. He's one of them.
Shit.
Josh likes to go quite a lot.
Wait, where is he now?
He's back now, but
Sorry, it's very busy night in the Wallace Flowers household. Sorry about that. But yeah, what you... I mean, I do care who directs a film, because I think, like, a Tarantino film has this, like, cool thing about it. It's always got this cool aesthetic, and it's always got a good story as well. And, like, Spielberg films are very, like, cinematic as well.
classic.
And they're always classic films.
They're never gonna be like bad.
No,
I
like...
can't think of a Spielberg movie that's bad.
No, you really can't. Like, they're always staples.
You can tell, you know.
Yeah, because the editing's always really good. What do you mean?
Robert Zemeckis, he made Castaway. It was good.
What else has he made?
I made.
Let me have a look at Robert Zemeckis, because he might have been a one-hit wonder.
No, he made another good movie. I can't think of what it was. Oh, Full Metal Jacket. That's what he made, I think.
Let me have a look.
No, that was Stanley Kubrick.
No, he made Forrest Gump, Back to the Future, Castaway.
Forrest Gump.
Um,
To the Future.
He's on call tonight.
yeah, I am on call right now. I'm sorry. But he has also directed Mars Needs Moms, which is a terrible film. I don't rate Back to the Future Part 3. No offense. I don't rate Flight, starring Denzel Washington. He's also directed The Polar Express, which I thought was creepy as shit. He's also directed A Christmas Carol, which I think is starring Jim Carrey, which I hate with passion. He's also directed The Walk, which is an absolute
Which is just terrible.
shocker. That is a terrible film.
With what was his name?
It's good actor. I like the actor.
Oh crap! It was in the Dark
Joseph
Knight.
Gordon-Levitt. Joseph Gordon.
Yeah. Just wasn't a good film. Yeah, he didn't die.
It's a true story.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a French guy.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll just type in famous directors. So I can't think of any off the top of my head. Mel Gibson.
Was what's his name?
Michael Bay.
No. God no.
He's a terrible director.
Yeah, he is. Martin Scorsese.
Scorsese.
Yeah, that's it.
Boom. What has he done?
What do you mean? He did Wolf of Wall Street.
I can't.
He's done Shutter Island.
Oh.
He's done a few Goodfellas. That is a really good film. Taxi
Silence
Driver.
came out last year.
Raging Bull. The Departed, I would say, is a really good film as well. Goodfellas I did watch, which was actually a really good film as well.
I've not seen that.
Oh,
I'd recommend it. It's a classic. Gangs of New York is also a good film.
Trying to think of one. Looking at other ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Martin Scorsese. Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson directed the Budapest Hotel, the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yep. Moonrise Kingdom, Rushmore, Fantastic Mr. Fox,
That is a brilliant film, actually. I love that film. Christopher Nolan's also a good director.
Christopher Nolan's, yeah.
He's
The Dark Knight trilogy. Dunkirk.
The Prestige is a good film as well.
Interstellar.
Memento.
With Matthew McConaughey. Steven Spielberg. Tim Burton.
Bitch.
Hit or miss, Tim Burton. I think it's a bit weird. Like, I know it's creative.
Ridley Scott did Alien.
Yeah, he's a pretty good director, I must say.
George Lucas.
Come on.
Peter Jackson.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Did he do King Kong?
Who?
Pretty sure he did. With Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, he's directed American Sniper.
And he's an actor.
Peter Jackson did the Lord of the Rings trilogy, didn't he? And the Hobbit trilogy.
Yeah.
But he did
M. Night
Tintin.
Shyamalan.
Oh, and he apparently was.
Looking at other. Robert Zemeckis. There he is. Sam Raimi. He did the Spider-Man trilogy, the first Spider-Man movies.
What else did he do? I mean,
Name I know.
that is not a
Oh,
good
I know,
director.
look.
I mean, he's okay. There's not many female directors I've noticed, is there? Apart
The
from.
Evil Dead. He did Oz the Great and the Powerful. Drag Me to Hell.
No, it's not a good film. I mean, the moral of the story is that some people are good at directing and some people aren't.
Yeah.
And some people are good, some people are bad. It's balanced.
Or just okay.
Or just, yeah, ridiculously average.
Anything else that you want me to search whilst I'm on the Google?
Not really, but I've just seen something that's pretty weird. Have any of you seen Sense8? It's like a Netflix series. No idea what it is.
Yeah, I have heard of that.
Heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Well, X Hamster, the porn site, wants to do season 3 of that with Netflix.
That does not make any sense. Why? I mean, Sense8
I don't know
is...
why they'd want to do that.
It's not that good. I don't think. I've just
I've
never
never
heard
seen
any
it.
buzz about it.
Pwn.
Yeah, that was something weird.
Another thing is all this shit about like the Nazi resurgence in America, and it's just fucking.
Oh God, yeah.
It's just fucking annoying.
It's cringy.
It is cringe, and it's just makes you sick. I can't believe it. Why is America still in such a bad position? It's kind of embarrassing though that the world leader didn't even condemn it as well in his own country.
Yeah.
Like the thing that represents freedom has debatably one of the biggest problems because it's so divided. And where do you draw like what's your opinion? Where do you draw the line on like freedom of speech?
Once you start going around beating people and doing Nazi salutes.
Yeah, but like I think once you show a swastika in public or like a KKK, like what is it, the Southern Confederates flag, that's what they use.
Yeah.
You should just be arrested because it's just. I know it's freedom of speech, but it's just hate. It is literally an embodiment of just hate and violence and just wrongness, racism.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm. I saw the thing on news where it started at a rally where the car ran a load of people over, right?
Yeah,
And when I saw that, I was like, what the hell is even going on?
I know.
That's like the thing you said before with cults and stuff. Like, how could people be so mentally deranged and just
Not even retarded.
They've just got a
Twisted.
screw loose.
Sadistic.
Yeah,
weird views? I don't know. It's just how and why?
Makes them
I've
do that.
once again, it's people wanting a thing to blame it on and wanting comfort. They blame all the problems on minorities and stuff like that. Getting, just
Scapegoats.
yeah, it's literally scapegoats. It's all it is. Just makes people feel better. It's kind of weird. Now they're taking down a lot of Southern Confederate statues as well, I've heard. So any like memorials of the war. Because if you think about it, it was a war between the North and the South in America, the Civil War, but it was a war about whether to have slavery or not. So, is it right to have war heroes, quote unquote, like statues of people who fought for slavery?
No.
No, it's not. So why are people so angry that they're being took down?
It's just, I don't know. Slavery is probably the worst thing that's ever happened. When you think about it.
I mean, yeah, it's just so wrong. It's just so...
Because if more, well, I don't know the ratio for black to white, but if like the majority of people are becoming slaves because of the skin color, then
I think the problem was that America was such a new country that they just needed not that they needed slaves, but they needed, because they were trying to grow so quickly, and they did, but it's almost like they relied on slaves to do jobs that they didn't want to do and do hard work and stuff and pick like cotton and stuff. So, you know, oh well. I mean, I can't believe we've not moved on from it. It's so just weird to think that it's been like what, how many years? 150 years, 200 years, and America haven't even moved on from it. Like not in a way of like people forgetting about it. It's just like how people won't flip and let it go. Like Nazis and KKK members. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you get...
what, neo-Nazis?
Yeah, neo-Nazis. And they claim that it's like American, but how is it American? Because it's the thing that they fought against in World War Two was Nazis. And I'm pretty sure all they talk about is freedom. And how is that freedom? Just discriminating against a race. Doesn't make any sense.
If anything, it's not. Yeah, it's the opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite of freedom. But their excuse is, oh, they're not American.
Oh god.
But what makes you more American just because you're white? Like, how does that... It doesn't make sense. And the thing is, a lot of the time, like, everyone's blood has... Like, you have DNA from everywhere in the world. We're all just flipping people. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what race you are, it's just evolution. The only reason...
Not minds.
Yeah. I can't believe they can actually come up with excuses to just hate on a race. It's just so weird.
And then they're not like they're hating on criminals and stuff. It's just ordinary citizens.
Yeah, it's just normal people, ordinary people just getting on, trying to get on with their lives. But I mean, oh well, you just gotta let it go. I'm just glad it doesn't happen in Britain, really. I mean, there's Britain first, but that's the worst we get. There's not any Nazi symbols anywhere.
Britain's first is just so wrong.
It's just embarrassing,
It's
really.
like, Jesus.
And oh God, I can't believe UKIP actually. I'm so glad that UKIP got no votes basically this year. They got no seats in the House of Parliament because they're just the worst.
Going nowhere.
Yeah.
They are embarrassing. I mean, I used to joke, like, going around.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You had that little face.
I told people to vote.
But that was satiric. That was like satirical almost.
Yeah, I wasn't. It was fucking funny. You know, they want to deport immigrants.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if
It's kind of funny when you put it that way.
you were in their shoes, like if you was an immigrant, then you would want to start again.
It literally just makes no sense. It's always been the problem though. I can't believe that no one ever moves on in the world. Like, it was the reason that a lot of people hated like Jews as well. Like, a lot of the reason for anti-Semitism is basically because why have I anyway? So that's not related. It's because they were like travellers. They were always travelling because they were always moved out of their homes and always moved out of places. So people are like, oh, they're coming in and taking our jobs, and I can't believe people on don't realise that it doesn't. It doesn't matter where you come from. You're just people, and they just want
If
jobs.
they're more qualified, then they deserve it.
Yeah. Why does it matter what nationality you are? If you can do a better job in my country, in the country that we all live in, why would you care? It's kind of like how football works. If there's someone better from another country, obviously you're going to sign them. You know, people don't call them immigrants, do they? And say they're taking our jobs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure people do argue that as well, but oh well.
Oh no!
Need to go games. My son Terry, he should have been playing. He's the best footballer I've ever seen.
Neymar's coming to Man U, taking my job. Listen here, I'm number 10 in that football club.
Yeah, I know, right? See, people don't listen to the people's problems. Jesus, the world. I mean, I can't help but say it, but I hate when people do say it. You just feel like the world. I mean, I don't know. I tried to stray away from it, but I have to bring it up. There's been another terrorist attack today. Today, as we're filming
Oh yeah,
this, in Barcelona.
Wait,
Yeah.
a second one? Or is it?
Oh no,
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 it's
there was
first one
people.
today.
I'm pretty sure my understand. I haven't read too much about it because, to be honest, can you blame me? I didn't want to be. I'm sick of hearing about them. I mean, not that I don't care. It's just that,
It's
yeah,
irritating.
it's irritating to know that that's going on. But I know that there was gunmen in a car, a van rammed, or maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, like 13's died or something.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard
50 injured.
around 12, 13 people have died.
Yeah, but like probably half of the people our age probably don't even know or care about it though.
Mm.
Like people our age are so naive.
I suppose. But what's even worse is when they feel like they are so like educated as well. Like when they feel like they know everything. I suppose that is naive. That is naivety again.
Cause I don't know. I feel like our little group is mature.
Yeah, not how like society wants to see maturity though. It's not how society sees maturity, but in our own opinion, we are like quite mature, which might make us naive, but
True.
I think we are though.
Compared to people in our school, in like we are. I don't know. We look like demigods. Because there are some real retards.
Yeah, to put it quite politely as well. There are some stinkers.
Some real cavemen.
Yeah.
Not gonna say anyone. Nathan Payne.
Wow. Big call out right there. But yeah, I mean, there's a few people that, and the thing is, like that's the reason why the world is just the worst, is because of idiots. But I suppose the world needs idiots. Like who's
To
gonna?
make people look smart.
Yeah, who's gonna do the dirty shit that no one else wants to do if there were no idiots?
Yeah, who's gonna fight the wars?
No,
Who's
no
idiots?
one.
Oh, that's just.
It's true.
It's quite true though. It's sad, but it's true.
People in World War One and World War Two, like pretty much everyone,
But common.
was working class.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't see Lord Sugar going.
That's why it just makes me laugh all the time when you see like not that they don't do good stuff, but when you see like the royal family saying they did like military service, and it just winds me up because I'm like, did you? Did you go on the front lines? Did you fucking
No,
like
they
sacrifice
didn't.
yourself? No, you just went on tour and fought like
I hate how there's still a queen.
what a monarchy.
Yeah, I just we don't need one. No, like not now anyway.
No, no, it's just ridiculously stupid.
It's like it's just fortunate that they are now looked like they look better people just because they're born in a shitty family.
Yep.
Like, I wouldn't wear those clothes.
In a way, it's kind of nice to know that we're kind of different and we have the royal family, but it just makes me feel it's just so unjust.
Fair.
Yeah, it's just like there's people that work hard for a living, and then there's just them who just get everything on a plate, silver spoon.
Yep. Whatever.
But
Kind of like spoiled people.
yeah. But the thing is, like, I mean, the royal family do actually do things, though. Like, they're not like just people who are really rich who just don't do anything. But they don't work and they don't really. I mean, I think it's like 50p of like maybe a pound. A pound of your taxes per year goes to the royal family, and if it's a pound from every person,
But yeah,
that's roughly
like
50
see,
million a year
look,
goes to the royal family.
like, did they need it?
No, to be quite honest. Well, I mean, they don't really contribute that much. Apparently, they contribute quite a lot on tourism, but obviously,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure if we
just
just
people.
like chopped off the heads of the people and opened up Buckingham Palace for everyone, we'd get much more tourism.
Yeah,
Apart from all the barbaric killings, but let's just cover them up,
whatever.
like George Bush.
Turn Buckingham Palace into a big orphanage.
Yeah, like Wayne Manor at the end of
Yeah,
Dark Rises. That was filmed in Nottingham, Bulletin Hall.
that's really cool.
It is.
Was that Star Wars? Like, that was shot in Ireland, wasn't it? Like the
Yeah, I think so.
little island at the end of The Force Awakens.
I heard about that.
A
I
lot
think
more things are becoming to be shot in UK.
Yeah, I think a lot of the
Game of
Lord of the
Thrones.
Rings as well was actually shot in
Yeah.
the UK.
Hobbit.
The Hobbit as well.
Don't know.
I think we've got like a nice mix of hills and all that jazz.
Yeah. Films that don't want to be Hollywoodized. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got what you mean.
Americanized.
And a lot of Game of Thrones is actually filmed in Britain. Quite sure.
What?
It's a lot of British
Spoilers.
actors there, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's all British. I mean, a
Hmm.
lot. There must be obviously there's a few American actors that do British accents.
Yeah.
Obviously, there must be. But it's quite nice to know that there's a lot of British talent, especially in Star Wars as well. Like John Boyega and Daisy, what's her name?
Renton.
I was gonna say Daisy Renton, but that's the girl from Inspector Calls, or isn't it?
Daisy Ridley. That's it. Daisy
Yeah,
Ridley.
yeah.
Something
And
else
John
thinking of
Boyega.
Ridley Scott. But
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's
I like
it.
John Boyega. It's good.
What a lad. Yeah,
What a lad.
it's nice to see British talent come through. Because I feel like a lot of the
Tom
time,
Holland.
the problem with like British TV as well is, which I have a really big problem with, is how every time there's like a new show on, it's always the same people, like Anton Deck, Holly Willoughby, I don't know who
Keith
else.
Lemon.
Yeah, Keith Lemon or whatever. Just the
Alan Key.
favourites. Alan Carr. Yeah, but no one really remembers him. I don't know. I kind of like a show. It kind of makes me laugh. Because
What about the dog guy, Paul O'Grady?
I kind of British
It
classic.
looks like my auntie.
Yeah. Maybe your auntie is obviously a beautiful woman. Oh man. 2017. No judging.
Do you guys know that Tom Holland was a British actor?
I did indeed. Wait, you talking
I
about?
didn't.
Are you trying to? Sorry, is this? Are you actually talking about Tom Holland? Or are you talking about Tom Hardy?
Oh, which one is
Tom
it?
Hardy.
Right, that's good.
Both are British though. So
Yeah,
it's
they are both
fine,
British.
Have you seen the meme of Tom Holland looking like he's always got a frog in his mouth?
No.
No.
Like whenever in
Is
all
this-
of his pictures,
is
it
this,
looks like he's trying to stop a frog from getting out of his mouth.
Is this a
Oh,
Reddit
is
thing?
it like a bald...
I saw it on Twitter first, but then it
Oh.
was on Reddit the other day of him posting on Instagram like embracing the meme,
Oh, nice.
and like considered his caption like ribbit with the frog emoji.
Tom Holland frog.
I've not seen that.
See if anything comes up. Oh, it says I'm a walking meme. Oh no, I watched that video. Oh, Tom Holland has hilarious response to fans' frog theory.
Who says the frog? Who says the fans?
I hate that advert so much.
What advert?
Planet's turned to be 90% men. Oh yeah, it does look like he's hiding a frog in his mouth.
Hmm.
Don't remember a lot.
But it's not crazy, you know. It's not like Nicolas Cage theory where he's sold his soul to the devil.
No, that was just a theory that I got from the Trefos podcast, but I mean, it might have a following. I don't know.
I mean, I've heard of that before.
Have you? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, it does look like
It
there's a
does
frog in
make
his mouth.
sense, because he's in so many bad movies. And he's in Ghost Rider.
And he's a Ghost Rider, yeah, which is I think that's the best movie I've ever seen.
Yeah?
It's not the worst. No, it's actually quite poor. Although I did like.
I've never actually seen it. I have to confess.
I'm missing out.
I know.
He sells his soul to the devil, and then he becomes
Maybe
to save his dad. I think
that was trying to get he was trying to tell someone about the pain he's going through, but you know, no one watched the movie. No one watched the movie, so no one actually cared. So poor Nick Cage, still suffering out there. Did you see him in Mongolia? And he's wearing that fucking coat, and he looked like a Mongol, a literal Mongol. Don't worry.
Have you... What's the weirdest cinema experience you've ever had? Well, like, it's been just weird.
The weirdest cinema experience.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or something that's just been... Or like...
I mean,
or something.
well, I remember my dad started like shining these kids in front of us because
classic.
yeah, they were fucking just really fucking annoying, basically. So my dad got really pissed off, and then he fell asleep, so he didn't really care about the movie because we were watching Transformers
That's why
3.
he wanted to shut up there so he could sleep.
Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon, which is debatably the best. No, the best. I would say it's the best Transformers.
Oh,
It's the one I enjoy the most. Transformers.
I've not seen
It's
Dark
not the
of the
best
Moon.
one. Transformers number 1 is the best one. Transformers 4 is the worst. Transformers 2 is also the worst, and Transformers 5 is also the worst. And Transformers 3 is watchable.
apparently 5 is the worst.
Oh, I've not seen 5. I've not seen 4 or 5, but I'm just assuming they're worst because Mark Wahlberg's in them. What is Mark Wahlberg's problem? Because he's actually a pretty good actor, and he just takes shit roles, like Ted
Ted?
and fucking Transformers and
That he's in another
Daddy's
one,
Home.
another newish one. Yeah, there's that one. I
Oh,
can't remember what it's called.
Patriots Day. Patriots Day.
Yeah.
And he's in Horizon Deep Water, something like that. It's like a.
Let me just go on Mark Wahlberg movies. Let me tell you about times
I
that he's
had a
actually had.
experience one time.
Yeah.
It's like so weird. Basically, me and my dad, after I went, like he wanted to go and watch X-Men Origins, but we only watched the last 15 minutes of the movie. Like we went to the cinema and paid, and we only watched the last 15 minutes.
Nice.
It was just so weird. Because we just walked in, it was just Wolverine fighting some guy.
Well, I walked into Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and because I remember my card failed because I forgot the thing, and then I went in and I went into the wrong cinema hall, so everyone was already halfway through the movie and just looked at me weirdly, and then I just sat down at the top of the cinema and then walked straight out and walked into a different one. It's really awkward.
Did you realise that?
Awkward.
Yeah, it was just fucking awkward as shit.
Oh yeah. Because we went in one before you. Baby Driver was like, it was really unplanned, to be honest.
Well, so many people came that I didn't think would come. I didn't know Sam was coming, really.
Yeah, and then I walked in, and I thought I was going to be really early, but I was actually really late. And then it was just like me, Sam, Jack, and Brock, and Harry. And I thought you guys weren't there, but then you said that you was in Sainsbury. It was just weird. We should have met up earlier.
Yeah.
Had an hour before and then gone. Plus, I didn't even talk to like Owen, or like Ryan.
Well, Owen just went. Like he does that quite a lot.
It does a me. He did a me.
Yeah. A big you. And then them guys went to Sainsbury's and they could have told us. I thought they were just going home.
Yeah, they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to McDonald's and then we'll go home."
Right, listen to this Arsenal FC sign up. Right, Fabianski in net, Squillaci in defence with Vermaelen, and De Giroux right back, Andre Santos left back, Benayoun in the centre mid with Frimpong and Coquelin, and then Oxlade Chamberlain, Chamak and Arshavin up front. Oh my god.
Hey, Shamak did an okay season one time.
You'll never know the true meaning of banter until your team puts out a starting 11 like this. God, Arsenal have been through some shit. Alright.
Actually, Chamberlain isn't really the greatest player though, is he?
He is right now. I mean, he's pretty good. I can't deny. By the way, the best statue in the world is the monuments of rat used for DNA research in Russia. That's pretty good.
Fulham had a statue of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, they still do, don't they?
Oh, I thought they knocked it down because I was just like, what are you doing? Anyway, I'm gonna load up your boy Black Ops 3. Should we end the podcast here?
Oh wait, who was that? Michael Jackson? Yeah, just end it.
Oh, yeah. I understand. If you just, yeah. Hey up, baby.